Hi guys, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another episode of Dear Sister. Today we have a new person on the podcast. Yay! Hi Lishba, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So अब जो है कभी कभार आपको लिशबा भी नजर आएगी. I like how we sort of like keep mixing it up, keep changing.
We're growing as a family.
Yes. So today we have a Lishba as well. Sania, you guys already know.
Hello.
So जिस चीज़ के बारे में हम आज बात करने जा रहे हैं, that is शादी, सबका favorite topic. But not in terms of marriage, more in terms of wedding and wedding events. क्योंकि अभी शादी season चल रहा है, so we thought, why not discuss that. And in that same thought, हमने उसको further ये सोचा कि अच्छा अगर हम अभी का शादी season discuss करें, then how about we talk about how shadis are these days as compared to how they were before. So ये मुझे बहुत, they presented this idea और ये मुझे बहुत interesting लगा. I was like, yeah, I want to talk about that. That is interesting. So we'll be getting into that. So what do you guys love? First tell me, what do you guys love most about weddings? What is it like when you think about a wedding? What is it that you love most about? I'll start with you because you are new.
Food. We all go there for food, don't we?
Yes. Do you like shadi ka khana?
I do, but apart from that, getting ready and preparing for the whole event and then going, that is quite a task.
Quite a task. Yeah. And what about you, Sania? What
I
do you
like getting ready wala part. Like I love shopping for shadi and getting all dressed up, glam and everything.
Glam and
I really like that.
Yeah. And what's your most favorite event on a shadi?
Mehndi.
Mehndi, yeah.
So much entertainment and dancing and everything. Do you guys do dances on weddings? Do you dance?
Yeah.
Do you dance?
Yes.
Do you like the freestyle vibe or do you guys do prepare dances?
It depends. Hota to prepare karen bhi to it ends up being a freestyle though.
Yeah.
But
So it depends a lot more on ke kitni kareebi shaadi hai.
Yeah,
If it's a
that's
cousin's
true.
wedding and you're going on the dance practices, then you're practicing more and
It's more fun also.
Yeah.
It's more fun, right? So, आजकल की weddings में, it's like, so what I've noticed is, काफ़ी time से ना, like people have really been sort of, कहते ना कि level
evolving,
advance हो जा रहा है. I've come to this point after all the levels of advancement that we've seen in shadis is that the sky is the limit. Because you literally, like, there's no stop. If you want to keep going, you can
Yeah,
do
you can.
anything with it.
Yeah.
From like one function to like 10 functions and even like outside of the country and destination weddings and everything.
bilkul.
pre and post.
Pre and post and whatnot. So that thing has really sort of evolved over time. और वो अब ख़त्म ही नहीं होता. So the other day I was speaking to this photographer as well and I was like यार क्या scene है ना, like the sort of weddings that you cover, they're like she's really covers really high end weddings. So I was like, you cover really high end weddings, like क्या scene है लोगों का, like how are they like doing this? She's like Hamna, because I know these people, I know these clients, they don't care about the fact कि उसके बाद उनके पास एक रुपया भी नहीं रहता जेब में, but literally उनका ये होता है कि they spend all their money on it.
Yeah.
And then they don't have money. कहती वो bankrupt हो जाते हैं, उनके पास ना अगले 3 महीनों का खाने की मसले पड़े होते हैं, but they're doing that. So I want to ask you, why do you think that shadis have evolved so much? And secondly, I also want to ask you, why do you think people are willing to spend so much money on something that could have been very simple? Whoever wants to speak first.
So मुझे जो लगता है कि आजकल बहुत एक word हम लोग सुनते हैं, that is aesthetic. We want everything to be aesthetic. So maybe that's why हम कोशिश करते हैं कि जो हमारी videos, pictures या जो भी हैं, they are more into like, there's a specific theme that is following on the photos even. You wanted a bit more, contrast आप ज़्यादा चाहते, you wanted like sun-kissed pictures or stuff like that. So वो एक बिल्कुल theme के साथ they go. अब जैसे recently एक स्कर्दू में जाके specifically destination wedding हुई और वहाँ पे shoot हुआ up in the mountain. I don't know if you guys remember.
I've seen.
So I mean, like, that is, what else can you expect when a groom and bride, they're going to the mountain, वो बर्फ में से जा रहे हैं, they just to get a perfect click. So I think maybe this is why, because we want everything to be so aesthetically pleasing these days. तो इट जस्ट गोज़ ऑन एंड ऑन एंड ऑन एंड ऑन कि आपको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कितना वो अपनी इमेज को एस्थेटिकली प्लीजिंग बना सकते हो अपनी ऑडियंस के लिए. सो मे बी दैट्स वाई, या मे बी अपने लिए. तो मेरे तो लगता है इस वजह से.
What about you?
I think for people and families, it's very important how their weddings are, because so many people are coming on them and they're meeting so many of their families and friends.
Yeah.
And it's also a competition like that now about the decor and how the theme, everything is pre-planned. And also because everything is now so easily available. We have people doing and managing things jo pehle shaadiyon pe people and families had to do themselves. Like event manager hai to they're doing everything, photographers hai to they know what they're doing. So I guess the availability of resources and the competition also adds up to the thing, and people have so much inspiration now from online weddings and the weddings they go to, okay, they also want to do the best they can for their weddings and to make it an experience for people.
Yeah. So do you think, I do think that the most major reason, I think, is the fact that people have to sort of maintain their social status.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's basically like, अगर किसी ने कुछ लोग थे जिनकी एक specific social standing है, so they're all on the same socio-economic status, ठीक है? And then what happens that one of them wants to do something more on their wedding. तो जब उन्होंने वो किया ना, so people that are on the same they will be like, okay, so हमें भी ये करना चाहिए. And then sort of when everybody does it starts becoming the norm. Then more people do it. So वो normalize होती जाती है चीज़ के ये करनी.
That's so true.
And I'm sure that nobody who the first one to do it or the first few people to do it, they're doing it because they genuinely sort of want to. Maybe just start करते generally they're not competing. They're just doing क्योंकि उन्होंने वो करना था. But eventually it becomes a competition, because जब आप उस चीज़ को standard बना देते हो कि अच्छा ये सोशो इकोनॉमिक स्टेटस लोग तो इतना इस तरह ही करते हैं, तो वो हो जाती है. एंड आई थिंक दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ स्टेम्स फ्रॉम दिस थिंग के उन्होंने इस तरह का किया था, फलाने ने किया था, तो लोग क्या कहेंगे दैट इफ वी आर नॉट एबल टू गिव द सेम
लोग
टू
क्या
आवर
कहेंगे
गेस्ट
वाला जो फैक्टर है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा है.
वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा है. इनफैक्ट आई हैव मेट अ लॉट ऑफ कपल्स जिनका ये सीन होता है कि वो कहते हैं कि यार हमें सिंपल वेडिंग चाहिए, बट इट्स द पेरेंट्स, क्योंकि उनके जो इर्द गिर्द के लोग हैं ना, वो ये कह रहे हैं कि यार फलाने साहब की बेटी की तो वेडिंग इस तरह हुई थी, और या हमारी फैमिली में जो है, इवन फैमिली के नहीं तुम्हारी खाला ने इस लेवल की थी, तुम्हारे मामू ने इस लेवल की थी, या चचा ने इस लेवल की थी, तो हमें भी लाइक वही करना है, बिकॉज वो फिर अजीब लगता है कि हमने क्यों नहीं किया यार. Just to sort of show that you have the same amount or you can do the same. And I also feel कि लोग वो लोगों को खुश करने के लिए वो level of entertainment, वो hosting provide करने के लिए, it just sort of keeps
growing and growing.
Growing and growing. So मैं अपनी शादी की बात करूँ तो we had a very very simple wedding. 150 लोगों की wedding थी, बहुत छोटी थी. हम लोगों ने बस कहा था कि we didn't want to have a प्रॉपर ग्रैंड थिंग. उसमें भी हम ये चाहते थे, बट हमें पेरेंट्स की तरफ से वो आई थी चीज़ कि नो
कुछ तो करो, इतना भी क्या सिंपल
नहीं, लाइक बिकॉज उन्होंने कुछ लोगों को बुलाना होता है, एंड वो एक होता है कि कुछ लोगों की सर्टेन सोशल स्टैंडिंग होती है जिनको आप इस लेवल के नीचे से फंक्शन पे नहीं बुला सकते. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम सेइंग? कि होता है कि यार आप इन लोगों को बुला रहे हो
तो उस लेवल का आपको होना चाहिए,
उनको देना है. सो आई थिंक इस वजह से ये चीज़ एक होती है. खैर वी वर एबल टू कन्विंस आवर पेरेंट्स कि अच्छा नहीं हमें इस लेवल की करनी है, तो वो भी जो हम चाहते थे उससे थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही हुआ था, बट फिर भी हम लोगों ने आई से कि हमने काफ़ी छोटा इवेंट कर लिया था, बट दे वर ऑल्सो बेटर टाइम्स. अब तो इट्स
आई ऑल्सो थिंक देयर इज दिस एलिमेंट ऑफ हैप्पीनेस, लाइक इट्स वेरी डायनामिक, लाइक इट्स नॉट अ कॉन्स्टेंट. कि पीपल हैव स्टार्टेड थिंकिंग कि अगर हम छोटा इवेंट कर रहे हैं तो लोगों को लगेगा कि आर दे नॉट हैप्पी विद द वेडिंग, कि दे आर नॉट स्पेंडिंग सो मच, दे आर कीपिंग इट सो सिंपल, व्हाई इज दैट सो. सो दैट ऑल्सो becomes a barrier for you to sort of arrange a big wedding. कि मतलब लोग क्या सोचेंगे कि हम खुश
Exactly,
नहीं
लोग क्या
हैं.
कहेंगे.
हाँ हाँ
We're not dressing up well. We're not
doing enough,
celebrating
spending
well.
enough
Yeah.
on this
Yeah.
because
So are we
हो
not
सकता है.
I don't understand that spending a good amount of money, how is it related to, being happy? Like you can be happy with something small, like कोई इतनी बड़ी gathering की और इतनी उसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है, because at the end of the day, jokes apart, people are only going to remember the food that you're serving them on the wedding. बहुत कम ऐसा होता है कि they remember कि अच्छा उसने यहाँ से डेकोर कराया था, oh my god यहाँ से डेकोरेशन हुई थी. तो I just don't get this thing कि it's of no use to spend this much on a wedding.
वो पता है क्या, it's just that it's also about how many options people are getting now. जैसे आपने कहा था कि इंस्पिरेशन मिलती है और रिसोर्सेज अब ज़्यादा हैं. मतलब अगर आपके पास पहले ऑप्शन ही नहीं थे कि आप 10 शैंडलियर लगा लो, तो लोग नहीं लगाते थे, बिकॉज होता भी था कि आपके पास मैक्सिमम अवेलेबिलिटी होती थी ऑफ हॉल्स. ठीक है, और उसमें भी होता था, पहले होता था कि हॉल वाले ही करेंगे सेटअप. अब होता है कि आप बाहर से like you're outsourcing the event
hiring wedding planners and event managers.
And like decor वाले, and then it's like वो. So I think जब लोग specialize करना शुरू हो जाते हैं in certain areas, so obviously they make it better and better. अब if somebody is doing decor, then they're going to go into it. Then they will be like, हम आपको ये भी देंगे और हम आपको ये भी दे सकते हैं. And obviously they have to, उनका भी काम है, उन्होंने अपना बिजनेस चलाया, so they will give the maximum options so that people who can spend so much,
they avail it.
हाँ.
And now that there are so many options, तो हर एक के बजट में भी लोग कस्टमाइज करके देते हैं ना कि now if you're not willing to spend that much, तो आपको फिर भी वो ऑप्शंस मिल रहे
हैं. हाँ.
I think अब कस्टमाइजेशन बहुत ट्रेंड पे आ गई है. मतलब पहले ये होता था कि आप ये हॉल में गए हैं, दे हैव दिस स्पेसिफिक ऑप्शंस, यू हैव टू चूज बिटवीन देम. देयर इज नो कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ कस्टमाइजेशन. अब तो आपको किस तरह का एक फूल लगाना है अपने बैक स्टेज के ऊपर, यू कैन इवन कस्टमाइज दैट कि ओह माय गॉड नो आई वांट दिस एंड दैट.
टॉकिंग अबाउट फूल यार, दिस इज होल थिंग ऑन रियल फूल एंड फेक फूल.
Oh my God.
और वो लोग जाके like I've seen people like with my eyes कि वो देखते हैं कि यार इन्होंने रियल फूल, क्योंकि स्पेशली लोगों ने ज़्यादा फूल लगाए होते हैं तो लोग देखते हैं यार कितना खर्चा है. ये देखो ये रियल है या फेक है, बिकॉज अगर ये रियल है तो फिर तो यार ये तो बहुत महंगा पड़ा होगा. 4-5 लाख तो सिर्फ यार पता नहीं 6-7 लाख तो डेकोर में चले गए रियल फूल लगे हुए. So मतलब it's really like it's sort of insane. When we talk about big weddings, so आप big को भी different category दे सकते हो. So for example, a wedding could be big because too many, like it was big in terms of के लोग कितने हैं. कुछ लोगों का भी होता है कि 6,000 लोग. Like it's insane, right? कि वो अपने हर किसी को बुला लेते हैं उठा के, और वो लोग आ भी जाते हैं.
बिल्कुल.
People have time. And then उस सेंस में बिग होती है. फिर कुछ उस सेंस में बिग होती है कि like events and events,
बहुत grand events,
like बहुत ज़्यादा events. फिर वो इस तरह भी बिग हो सकती है. like कुछ लोग इस तरह भी करते हैं कि यार वो है इंटीमेट होगी, लोग कम होंगे, लेकिन उसमें और इतनी सारी चीज़ें एलिमेंट्स ऐसे होंगे विच आर वेरी सॉर्ट ऑफ ग्रैंड. सो आई थिंक वो हर किसी का अपना एक होता है, दे पिक एंड चूज ऑफ, एंड सम पीपल चूज एवरीथिंग. They sort of choose everything. But वही बात है, like आप किसी भी तरह से ना, now you have 3 ways of making a big wedding. तो आप कुछ भी कर सकते हो, किसी लेवल तक भी sort of जा सकते हो. आप 10 इवेंट्स कर लो. पहले ज़माने में होता था like अम्मी के टाइम पे it was just
घरों में इवेंट्स होते थे. मतलब आई हैव सीन माई मदर्स पिक्चर शादी की, उसमें वो घरों में ही मेहंदी हो रही है, इवेंट्स हो रहे हैं, घर से ही बारात जा रही है और वो सब सारा. दैट वाज वेरी सिंपल टाइम्स. और अब तो हम देखते हैं, हम कहते हैं वी कैन नॉट इवन इमेजिन के ओह माय गॉड अब वीडियोग्राफर हमें वीडियो दिखा रहे हैं, उसमें से दिल टूट रहा है, bride and groom they're coming out of the video, like that is so funny for us.
यार लोग हायर करते हैं 2 से 3 different videographers. By the way, which annoys me because you're just like इवेंट पे ना like लोगों से ज़्यादा आपको videographers नजर आ रहे होते हैं, like they're taking up the space and the everything. So Alishma, what have you sort of noticed in weddings then and now, some of the things जो आपको लगता है जो बहुत change हो गई हैं from before?
I feel like everything has evolved. Like nothing is the same, from the venues or the invitations and the number of events.
Yeah, that's true.
The preparation which goes into it, the decor which goes into it, everything has changed. But specifically if we start by talking about the invitations, जो कि एक बड़ा important factor है in a wedding.
Yeah.
So recently we've gone digital also after
E-invites,
COVID.
yeah.
E-invites, but if we talk about the old times, we used to get this simple template का card which we used to get.
जिसमें कुछ लोग गोल्डन करते थे और कुछ लोग बिल्कुल प्लेन करते थे, कुछ का embossed होता था और कुछ का नहीं होता था, and that was it.
Yeah, and that was the similar type of card जो सबका ही आ जाता था. But now everything is customized. Even the cards now are customized according to the color palette of the bride and groom.
Yeah.
It's digitally illustrated now. It's much more than an invite. Like it's not just the card. Ab invite boxes hote hain. It has
Yeah.
there's a lot
chocolates
of
in
stuff,
it. It
yeah.
has favor boxes and whatnot.
Yeah.
So a lot has evolved.
Yeah, it's funny because like आपने इनविटेशंस में दो तरीके से इन्वॉल्व किया है. एक बस ये इनवाइट और एक ये कि पूरा डब्बा ही भेज दो.
पूरा डब्बा ही भेज दो. एग्जैक्टली.
Yeah.
वरना पहले तो मेहंदी का कार्ड भी एक होता था, यहाँ से 2-3 लड़कियाँ आ रही है दिया पकड़ के, यहाँ से 2-3 लड़कियाँ बनी है ऑन द कार्ड. सो इट वाज वेरी स्पेसिफिक. तो अब तो इट्स वेरी मच डाइवर्स. मतलब
Yeah, and
बहुत option है.
even you spoke about events, you know, कि change हो गए हैं. Nikah used to always be part of the mehndi or the barat.
Yeah.
Mostly the barat.
Mostly
yeah.
barat, yeah.
And Barat's event was considered to be a very serious natured one. But now that nikah alayda hota hai, so it is a
Yeah.
little more lighter for the people, and they just know कि क्या yoga खाना है and just entry है. So people have started focusing on those things more now, I guess. And talking about the events, bridal shower, other events like dholki and pre-events like haldi is alayda, dholki is alayda.
Game night. Qawwali night.
कवाली नाइट तो बहुत कॉमन हो गई है. इट्स वेरी कॉमन.
Yeah. So like वो ही बात है ना, endless है. आप गेम नाइट कर लो, ब्राइडल शावर अलग कर लो, बैचलरेट अलग कर लो. Like it's never
Yeah,
ending.
haldi.
So did you have any one of those?
I had a bridal shower that
Right.
my friends threw for me.
Okay.
Then मेरी एक friend ने मेरे लिए bridal shower throw किया था. Like we as a family we did a shendi and a walima.
Okay.
हाँ. But my friends did like dholkis and bridal shower हुआ था. हाँ. So that's what sort of happened. तो मेरी wedding उस तरह से बहुत छोटी सी थी और like वो event wise भी छोटी थी. Like थोड़ा सा डेकोर,
Yeah.
थोड़े से लोग, थोड़ा सा वो.
So what do you like? Like, do you like the new trend of nikah अलग से event या on the barat वाला?
यार मुझे, you know, I like the a nikah feeling and vibe.
Yeah.
Sort of, because I mean I don't know, because I'm sure कि वो जब बारात वाले दिन भी होती है तो it maintains its essence. It probably does, because जो लोग कर रहे हैं उनके लिए तो वो है ही, right?
बिल्कुल.
But मुझे personally I like nikahs.
Oh, that's nice.
I like nikahs. But and I also like the barat जो आपने कहा used to be a serious
Yeah.
मुझे शेंदी वाला concept, although I do like कि barat should have more grace in the sense it should be what it is. जो हमने क्योंकि शेंदी की थी तो my mom constantly had this issue कि बारात जो है वो सीरियस नेचर का होता है और उस पर लाइक डांस नहीं होना चाहिए एंड स्टफ. बट वी वांटेड अ स्मॉल वेडिंग, तो वी वर लाइक नहीं, हमने एक और इवेंट नहीं करना. सो दैट्स वेयर वी फॉट माय मॉम, वी सेड कि नहीं हमने. बट आई अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट शी मीन्स एज वेल. I do like Shendis का concept. Why? Because again you are eliminating sort of one whole
Mehndi event.
मेहंदी event. अगर आपने डांस करना है तो वो आप बारात पे ही कर लो, शेंदी कर लो, और रुखसती होनी है. बेसिकली बारात का कॉन्सेप्ट इज लाइक
रुखसती.
इट्स रुखसती, दैट्स व्हाट इट इज. तो मेहंदी पे बेसिकली रुखसती हो जाती है.
हाँ. अब तो निकाह का भी एक वो डिफरेंट आ गया ना. पहले तो अलग ब्राइड अपने ब्राइडल रूम में बैठी होती थी, ग्रूम स्टेज पे होता था. नाउ दे आर सिटिंग ऑन द स्टेज विद दैट you know,
Thing,
with that thing,
partition.
the partition of
thing.
flowers and
Ha,
stuff.
ha.
So see, everything is
There's so much you can do.
yeah. There's so many options.
Talking about the venues, they have evolved a lot also.
Yeah.
पहले हम halls में जाया करते थे and then marquees, lawns.
Yeah, up to farmhouses
farmhouses,
and everything, and then obviously you can do anything with it. लेकिन कुछ लोग हैं वो अपने घरों में भी करते हैं. जिस तरह if you have a big lawn, तो लोग उसमें भी करते हैं.
I remember we did my sister's mehndi in our घर का lawn. तो that was a very nice event actually. I also wanted कि मेरी किसी और बहन की भी भाई की भी वहाँ पे होती, पर we did not do that. So yeah, that was sad.
Do you think that social media has a role to play in how big the wedding is? Because pehle you were just showing to like people like your family and your family friends, and now everybody gets to see it. Do you think that sort of puts?
I think that really has played the role because, like we talked earlier, कि एक segment of people थे who used to arrange big weddings, but now since it's so much on social media and all the photographers post the pictures on social media, तो उससे it's all available. Like पहले हमें पता भी नहीं होता था कि किस तरीके से एक बड़ा event arrange हो रहा है या what type of things go into it. But now it's so much out there that people have those inspirations and those memos saved for them कि मुझे ये चाहिए. So I think that has.
Yeah, I think वही बात है कि when you don't know, you don't care. But when you like see it, then you want it.
You want
it. So a lot of people, they just like कि वो फलाने की wedding और वो देख के आपके जहन में होता है this is what I want for myself.
Yeah, अब just recently there was this wedding of Katrina Kaif, the Bollywood actress. She wore a sari and she took a veil. It was a very different trend, and I have seen a lot of brides doing that. So you know, again, trend setting wala wo hai system.
But yeah, I'll talk about Lahori weddings. There's something very wrong with them. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anyone, but it's mostly the Lahori weddings which are just
out there.
Yeah, like एक होता है ना कि like have some grace, you know, थोड़ा सा बंदा like, you know, tone something down, but you have to have all the flowers and all the chandeliers and all the candles hanging and everything, you know. तो वो थोड़ा सा कि थोड़ा सा like there should be some kind of balance. I'm sure you have a lot of money, great, but have class also.
Yeah, that's true.
Let some class come with the money also, because at the end of the day, just choosing a pastel color palette but still having everything there is still going to make it look
really weird.
Yeah. So with Lahori weddings, I've seen that there is no like limit. Like people are just sort of, but I've also noticed that is Lahori culture generally, because people in Lahore are generally all about
fun-loving culture,
colors, color. वो इस वजह से भी I think थोड़ा वहाँ पे ज़्यादा है. It is the fashion hub of this country.
Yeah.
So you will see like the best dresses there and the best dressed people there.
That's
and you know. So I mean, it looks nice उस तरह से, but then it's also a bit too much. Yeah. So you can put Lahori weddings in one corner and then the rest of the country. Because उनका एक Karachi का I've noticed that they have big weddings, but they're sort of able to find that balance a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like Karachi is like the balanced one. Lahore is the very posh one, and the Islamabad is like very graceful, very aesthetic, and very
but Islamabad की वो ये है कि sometimes they're a bit too boring.
You know, the plus point of Islamabad weddings is like they have such a good venues. Like they can go up in the mountains, they can go to Manal, and they have really good venues.
That's also true.
But it also depends on the nature of people. Like Karachi is a cosmopolitan city.
Yeah.
So that is why the weddings are that
Yes.
way. Lahore is mostly Punjabi people
Punjabi
and all
people.
those cultural people coming together. And
not just that, Lahore ka ye hai ki they have a lot of people with new money, new
Yeah.
businesses, and also a lot of rent seekers. So they have a lot of money and they have time.
Yeah.
Because time is a huge factor. If you talk about people in Islamabad में job पेशा लोग हैं.
Exactly.
You know, like आपको bankers, इस तरह के लोग नजर आएंगे who have worked there all their lives, now they're retired.
Yeah.
So you know, उनका वो वाला scene नहीं है कि they're still getting like they have these high-end businesses and they're making all that money.
Islamabad, Lahore is more like a business kind of. Yeah, it is a business.
Yeah, there's new money and old money. Islamabad में जो आपको money मिलेगा वो old money है, और old money वाले जो लोग होते हैं generally they don't tend to show it.
Yeah.
and spend too much on just a wedding, because what will they do next?
Yeah, so I think वो Lahore का culture ही
Yeah.
sort of it's
very colorful.
and if you're there, I think you have to do this.
Yeah.
Like if you're like interacting in that sort of circle, so you can't not, right? Yeah.
But they'll be like, तुम्हें क्या है? Why are you so like?
But I feel like कि इस चीज़ से भी वो vibe जो है ना वो बड़ी अच्छी होती है कि if you're going to a Lahori wedding, you know it.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so
Like
much
it's
fun.
so much fun.
If you're
so you're
going-
guaranteed कि आपको मजा आएगा.
If you're going on a Karachi ki wedding, you also know it. And if you're coming to Islamabad ki wedding, you know it. So the vibe is
You
like,
know the vibe of the cities.
yeah. But आप कराची लाहौर वेडिंग्स पे आपको मज़ा बहुत आएगा. इस्लामाबाद की वेडिंग्स में अगर आप जानते हो तो सिर्फ तब आपको मज़ा आएगा. वरना आप कराची लाहौर में आपका क्लोज ना भी होना, आपको तब भी जाओगे तभी आपको बहुत मज़ा आएगा. Just because of everything that you get to see and experience. Like I've noticed that they create an entire experience for anybody who's coming to that wedding. So I mean that's great.
they're very warm, welcoming also, especially Lahori people.
Yes. So कहते हैं उनका दिल बहुत बड़ा है वो, and that's my own personal experience because I studied there. So the people are there are just very, very nice. Like they'll bring you into their homes like it's your home. That's how like my friends and their families used to welcome me. So that is definitely who they are. I think hosting is their thing. Yeah. So, but again, I think time, business, what you do, it sort of plays a
Huge role in
a
how you
huge role.
present an event.
Yeah, present an event. So
What about the entry songs, like the trend of that?
That's the thing up.
Yeah, that's a thing. So did you have like any
yeah.
entry song?
Yeah,
What
I
was
did.
it?
It was Alma.
Oh my god.
Why did you choose that?
Why did you
I
choose
don't
that?
know. I don't even remember. It was just like, oh, kaun sa hoga, and then somehow it just sort of, it was new at the time as well, and then it sort of like clicked. So बस वो कर दिया, और वो उस वक्त नया था और मेरी शादी में पहली दफ़ा वो भी हुआ भी था. So like my friends always say कि जब वो लगता है तो we always think of like your wedding.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, that's true.
So that was my entry song. And then we had like a cute, like my जो मेरी लड़कियाँ friends थी, they did a cute entry dance as
Aw,
well.
that's so
पहले
sweet.
उनका entry dance था, and then पीछे से me and my family came, तो वो music पे थोड़ा switch हुआ था.
Nice. That's really nice.
That's what it was.
Entry song and entry itself is also pre-planned
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
Will you
bhai.
enter with your family?
कुछ
or
हो सकता है.
whatever?
वो
Yeah.
बहुत कुछ हो सकता है. Exactly. अभी मैं पिछले दिनों देखी थी एक बिल्कुल वो सिंड्रेला की तरह उसके ऊपर आ रही थी ब्राइड. उसने फुल कैन का लहंगा पहना. I was like, how? How do you do this much? मतलब
Like वो है ना आपकी वो क्या होती है डोली?
हाँ, डोली.
डोली कहते हैं.
Dolly or
Dolly.
yeah.
हाँ, डोलीज एंड कैरेजेस
yeah.
एंड इवन लाइक बाइक्स पे भी मैंने देखी है. फिर मैंने वो पटाखे भी देखे हैं.
Exactly.
There's a lot you can do there as well. I think it's you know, I do feel like, you know, we talked about how like there's inspiration and then there's social status, but I do feel that Bollywood movies,
Yeah.
they play a huge part.
people have been really sort of taking inspiration from that as well. कि basically जो शादियाँ होती है ना वो पूरी मूवी की तरह like, लोग अब बनाना चाहते हैं कि मैं ऐसी लगूं, और जो मूवीज में जिस तरह ब्राइड्स होती हैं और उनके फंक्शंस होते हैं वो वाली चीज़ लोग जरा
That's
everybody wants to look like that heroine
Yeah.
and have a wedding like that heroine. So
Yeah, that's true. Like
that as well.
who's your favorite heroine जिसकी शादी आपको बहुत पसंद आई है, या hero? Like you might have seen a lot of.
I really like Anushka Sharma's
Yeah.
wedding, and I also really liked Alia Bhatt's wedding. I also like Katrina Kaif's wedding because they were all very like
Subtle.
very simple,
Very
and
simple.
sophisticated. तो वो अच्छा लगा था.
Yeah.
Nice.
So वो real Indian से भी इंस्पायर हो रहे हैं. ज़्यादा जो movies में characters
Yeah.
play करते हैं वो
Very good.
ज़रा ज़्यादा है.
What about you, Ilashwa?
I think Alia Bhatt's wedding was really nice because it was simple on her terrace with
Yeah.
her family.
Yeah.
And also I really liked Deepika and
Oh,
Ranveer's
yes.
अब
wedding.
मुझे पता नहीं याद ही नहीं है उनकी wedding.
It was a destination
It was-
wedding, but the pictures were so
Yeah, उनकी pictures
they were
बहुत
very
प्यारी थी.
vibrant. They were very.
I don't remember. I don't know why. हाँ मुझे याद ही नहीं.
I actually really liked the pictures of Lara Ibrahim or influencer. Like, oh my god, I loved her.
She looked
photo shoot.
really pretty,
She looked like
mashallah.
She is really pretty.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, but
yeah.
that was like,
that was
and she was the first bride that I saw जिसने heel वाली जूती नहीं पहनी. I literally noticed. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's wearing flats.
She's very tall.
Yeah, but still there are brides who are tall, but they like to wear heels. I was like, that is so different.
That is so different. Yeah.
Talking about the looks, they've also evolved
Oh, yeah.
greatly.
Yeah.
Like, पहले आप brides को without a red lip color or without a red जोड़ा नहीं imagine कर सकते थे, but now things have changed and they look equally beautiful. But yeah, so
Yeah.
that has really changed.
Do you guys like red jodas or like different?
I like maroon jodas, but I really like Pictureza's Bharat dress that is pink and teal kind of thing. I
She
love
remembers like
that.
everything.
Yeah, I remember. I follow them a lot, so yeah, I remember.
You just don't follow them, you stalk them.
Yeah, I saw them too. So yeah, I really like that.
And what about you?
Red.
Yeah. Something about red brides. Yeah. I think that's very like हमारे कल्चर का इतना like जोर का हिस्सा था.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still do it. And I really like it. जब वो red bride होती है ना, so मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है. Especially people are able to pull that off with grace.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
It does, and for myself, I feel like darker colors suit me more. So obviously, like keeping that in mind, I'll say red is the safe option.
It's a safe option. Yeah. Would you wear a red lehenga?
I don't know. Maybe not red, but maroon. Like
Maroon,
the
like you said.
blood maroon, dark maroon.
Did you wear a red?
No,
maroon
I didn't
lehenga?
wear a red.
Oh wow.
But now I wish that I did.
What color did you wear?
I wore like a gold.
Yeah, because it was shendi,
gold
right?
beige
You
type.
had to complement
Because
both
it was
the
a
events.
shendi as well, yeah. So, but उस time पे this gold sort of thing was sort of new as well. And it was new and like मुझे भी बहुत पसंद था, so that's what I sort of.
And
went
what did
for.
you do for your walima then?
It was like a mint green.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was mint green and silver. Yeah.
So that you are still in cohesion with what is happening today. Pastels and
yeah. Because वो उसी वक्त start हुआ था, right? So yeah, that's what I wore. But I do wish that I wore red now. I don't know why. But then I wore red on my nikah, which was like 3 years before my shadi.
Oh wow.
But that wasn't like a bridal at all. वो बिल्कुल एक बस party dress की तरह था. बहुत simple था.
अच्छा.
बहुत simple था. That was my nikah. So फिर जब मैं निकाह पे पहन चुकी थी, so then I was like, I'll wear this.
Apart from the dress, if you could go back in time and do a trend which is happening now, what would that be?
Trend like what?
Like anything, like
anything.
from invites to makeup to dresses to entrance to entry songs
To the venue,
to the venue, yeah.
anything.
Nothing, I think. I think dress भी like I'm happy with it. It's just कि अब मुझे वो red अच्छा लगता है. मैं कहती काश मैंने like red पहन लिया होता. जो कि शायद मैं पहन भी लेती है कि मैंने निकाह पे ना पहना होता. That was the thing कि अच्छा निकाह पे red पहना था. I don't know. I think I'm pretty no regrets about
Wow, that's
That's really nice.
So dances भी बहुत अच्छे हो गए थे. The event decor, it wasn't a lot, but it turned out really nice. Like when I entered the venue,
Yeah.
it was just, I was just like, wow, because it was it was so graceful. It was so pretty and classy and graceful. Like so many people talked about it for the longest time. कि जैसे उसका decor था ना, like all my friends and everybody and their parents के अच्छा इस तरह का होना चाहिए और ऐसे होना चाहिए.
And that's a success.
Yeah, so that decor was like a huge success.
Okay.
तो वो भी बहुत अच्छा हो गया था. I was really worried about the decor because I didn't participate in it at all.
Oh my god, it was my brother's wedding. And decor का एक ये हो गया कि nothing was ready. The on the walima, everyone was there. The guests were at the gate, but there was no stage. There was no decor over there.
No.
And मेरे जो बड़े भाई हैं, he just called me home. सानिया किधर हो? Hall out. Like nothing is ready. When I went there, I was like, तो अंदर वो सारे डेकोर वो जो भी था जैसा भी था वैसा ऑब्वियसली जैसा वी एक्सपेक्टेड वाज नॉट लाइक दैट बट इट टर्न आउट गुड बट वो दे वर डेकोरेटिंग और मैं लोगों गेस्ट को वेलकम कर रही हूँ साथ से मैं देख रही हूँ ओके डेकोर कहाँ पहुँच रहे सो इट्स
डिले हो गया था basically.
That would be very stressful for you as a family.
It was very
also.
stressful.
Oh my god, शादी से
Thank you for the traffic जो उस दिन रुकी थी.
लोग लेट हो गए थे.
लोग लेट हो गए थे. Thanks for that. For one
कुछ
time
इस तरह
only.
का आपकी शादी पे हुआ कि something went wrong.
यार मेरी शादी पे ये हुआ था that I was nothing उस तरह went wrong or maybe at least my family didn't let me like feel it because मैं तो तैयार होके अपने उसमें थी shoot कराया and then I came to the venue but I was a very stress free bride. Like मैंने कभी ना like tension नहीं ली थी ना मैंने I wasn't fussy कि मुझे ऐसी चाहिए.
You weren't a bridezilla.
हाँ, like I was like free floating. अच्छा ये अच्छा लग रहा है ये कर लें ये कर लें ये कर लें ये कर लें. मेरा ड्रेस भी सही नहीं आया था पहले वो मैंने उसमें फिर you know चीज़ें जुगाड़ें करके वो भी कर लिया था and I didn't care much. Like I don't know, I was so happy that I didn't care. I was like that and I spoke this. My friend said कि यार तुम इतनी chill कैसे? मैंने कहा I don't know, Maheen, for some reason I'm so happy that I don't care.
Yeah,
you know, I'm just happy that I'm getting married happily. That's it. So, and I was like, I didn't expect to feel like this, but I feel like this. And then when she got married, she said, I know exactly what you mean because she was like, hey, I'm really happy about my marriage, so I don't care उस तरह से. तो बट ये हुआ था कि जब मैं वेन्यू पर गई हूँ और मैं जाके अंदर बैठी हूँ एंड देन माई फ्रेंड्स आर देयर एंड एवरीबडी इज़ देयर और मेरी एंट्रेंस का टाइम होने वाला है. आई डोंट नो व्हाट हैपेंड किस तरह की मुझे एंजाइटी हुई बट आई थ्रू अप so much in the bathroom before going. So I'm all dressed.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine that I'm wearing my jewelry and I'm wearing my bow and then so some sort of anxiety kicked in or my mom is just like my mom is literally standing there and she's like chalo entrance pe and I'm just my friends are like holding me like this and I'm just throwing up. It was really bad us tarah se because everybody is waiting because everything is ready for the entrance.
You should be glad आपका ड्रेस नहीं खराब हुआ.
हाँ. तो I don't know, like I think that was some sort of पूरे टाइम का स्ट्रेस जो मैंने उस तरह फील नहीं किया somehow like moments before it kicked in because I think वो हसल बसल की वजह से कि बस सब कुछ हो रहा है सब कुछ चल रहा है अम्मी कह रही हैं बस अब आना है so I think it was more of that pressure of entering. So वो नहीं होता performance anxiety. It was more like that. And honestly, like very honestly, I hated being a bride when I really think about it. और उसकी वजह ये है because everybody is looking at you and you don't, and everybody's just coming and taking pictures. Like I enjoyed the pre-part more than because you just have to sit and people are just coming and taking pictures and pictures and pictures and pictures. I enjoyed the dances. But the pictures वाला part और बस smile करते रहो because at the end of the day it gets very exhausting. So I think being a bride it's tiring. I remember वलीमे के रात पे मेरा वलीमे का फंक्शन ख़त्म नहीं हुआ था लेकिन मुझे रोना आ रहा था because I wanted to take my lashes off. I wanted to take my और मेरे तो टोटल थोड़े से फंक्शन थे. I don't know how people with all of that do that because वलीमे तक मेरी बस हो चुकी थी. I was just like please लोग जाएं ताकि मैं ये उतारूं और ये उतारूं और ये उतारूं और ये सब उतारूं because I felt drained from wearing all of that and वो and the other thing जो वलीमे पे मुझे पहली दफ़ा like feel हुई थी वो ये था कि वलीमे पे when my mom and my brother and my sister, they said bye to me.
Aww.
Because it's like you,
Yeah.
from your whole life, you've always attended functions with your parents and your family, and then you go home with them.
Yeah.
And then when the
Oh
walima
my
ended, my
God,
mom is like,
yeah.
okay, beta. And I was like, oh wait, like, I don't get to go home with these people. I get to go home with these people. That was like a very like छोटी सी moment of reality for me कि oh, I'm never going home from functions with them. And like to this day, like जब भी आपकी family भी invited होती है और आप होते हो, I still find it so odd that I have to say bye to them and go to like my own home.
Yeah,
which is
and even
separate.
when you visit them afterwards, it's not like, even if you go there to stay, it's not like you can stay or be the way you were.
Yeah.
That's
Everything
true,
is the
yeah.
same, but I don't know.
yeah. So, खैर I don't know मैं इस part पे कैसे आ गई, but ये वलीमे की बात की तो मैंने कहा बता दूँ. बट हाँ, और जो मेरा वलीमा है वो तो बहुत सिंपल था. इट वॉज इन अ हॉल. इट वॉज लाइक उसकी डिनर सेटिंग थी बिल्कुल.
अच्छा अच्छा.
So there was no stage. It was a reception dinner.
अच्छा.
Oh, that's nice.
हाँ, so Muzammil and I, we were just like roaming around and we were
that's
meeting
really
people
nice,
and
yeah.
उस तरह से था वो.
Yeah, that's a really nice thing. I think a lot of people should do that. A lot of people have also been doing that. Lekin it should be done more.
It should be more
because-
common.
Yeah, because the bride and groom are just sitting there and with all those heavy clothes and makeup and jewelry, and they get so tired by sitting in that one posture. And
So हमारी वलीमा की बहुत डिनर वाइब्स थी. उस तरह से ये नहीं कि हम स्टेज पे बैठे थे, लोगों ने आके उस तरह से पिक्चर्स भी नहीं खिंचवाई. इट वाज वेरी लाइक कैंडिड कि कुछ लोगों के साथ हमने ऐसी लाइक सेल्फी खिंचवा ली उनके टेबल पे. एंड सो यू नो इट वाज लाइक pretty chill.
It was like you guys are the hosts and everything.
Yes,
It was
yeah.
it's really nice.
We
though,
received the
yeah.
guests and we like उस तरह से. तो और हमारे वलीमे पे स्पीचेस भी हुई थी.
oh wow,
Oh, I
that's
love this
beautiful.
thing.
सो हमारे जो बहन भाई और बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स थे उन्होंने
Actually, Pakistani weddings में इतना common नहीं होता, but I think it should be.
It's so nice.
Yeah, it is so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so
I really like
thoughtful.
that.
Did you get emotional by any one
Yes,
of
I
those?
did. By all of them. Yeah.
Sweet.
And they were all really cute and sweet. And then I remember my mamu said, my mamu also said that he wants to come and say something. So he said a few things, and then he also said to Muzammil, he said कि मुझे बहुत साल हो गए मेरी शादी को, और तुम जितना भी कर लोगे ना तुम्हारी बीवी तुम्हें कहेगी आपने मेरे लिए किया ही क्या है. And then whenever I complain to Muzammil say something like that, आप मेरे लिए कुछ नहीं करते. So Muzammil is like मुझे तुम्हारे मामू की बात नहीं बोलेगी. I was prepared for this. So what I'm trying to say, it was very nice and cute and funny as well, because you know लोग अपने anecdotes भी share करते हैं वो सारी चीज़ें.
But it's very thoughtful. It
Yeah.
should be done more because I think it is needed for the bride and groom, especially to feel that way. It is very. It should be common.
Yeah, it should be.
because it's not just about sort of like celebrating the hoo-has, right? It's also it's a moment, like
Yeah,
it's
it is very sweet.
it's a big moment, life-changing moment in your life. It's a huge transition. So wo, I think it needs to sink in as well.
Yeah.
Because one of my friends said that I spent too much time worrying about my wedding and not realizing that I'm getting married.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
कि वो ट्रांजिशन को सोक इन करने का ना टाइम ही नहीं मिला, बिकॉज वी वर ऑल जस्ट वरीड अबाउट द
ये भी हो जाए, वो भी हो जाए.
हाँ, तो पोस्ट मैरिज उसका, फिर पोस्ट वेडिंग उसका बहुत वो था, लाइक शी वेंट इनटू अ ह्यूज स्टेट ऑफ डिप्रेशन एंड एंजाइटी, इवन दो बिकॉज उसकी नथिंग रॉन्ग विद द मैरिज, हस्बैंड वेरी हैप्पी उससे हाथ से, बट जस्ट द चेंज, लाइक इफ़ यू डोंट एब्जॉर्ब द चेंज देन, और वो होता भी है ना कि आपकी इतनी बड़ी वेडिंग और सब कुछ हो रहा है, फिर एकदम से डाउनर आता है, बिकॉज सडनली यू हैव टू लाइक स्टार्ट लिविंग योर नॉर्मल लाइफ विथ कम्प्लीटली न्यू पीपल आफ्टर ऑल ऑफ दैट हाई.
और ये एक ऐसी चीज़ है कि लोग इसको एड्रेस नहीं करते उस तरह से जिस तरह से करना चाहिए, कि यू नीड टू लेट इट sink in and be prepared for what is going to happen after those 3 days of celebration and how you're supposed to be, like वो आपको टाइम नहीं मिलता to be collected, like in most cases जिस तरह you talked about your friend that she went in depression and all, or she had a hard time accepting it. So I think it is very important कि कोई ना कोई बात करे, या कोई ऐसी
Like आप इतना ना करो कि आप भूल जाओ.
Exactly.
To come to terms with the actual transition that's about to happen in your life. क्योंकि वही कहते कि हम सोचते ही वलीमे तक है, आगे का सोचते ही नहीं है. और जो मैंने कहा था कि लाइक मैं शादी के बारे में इतना सोच ही नहीं रही थी. I was excited about starting my life. That is why I didn't care so much about sort of if things are going right or not, because I was more interested in the fact कि अच्छा, you know, मेरी life में ये change आ रहा है and I'm excited about living with Muzammil now. तो वो उस वजह से I didn't think about that. I was more focused on शादी के बाद क्या होगा. And, you
It
know.
is very important क्योंकि the other day I was reading this post on Instagram और उसमें जिस तरह red flags और green flags होते हैं तो वो लिखे हुए थे कि a few pointers which really need to be discussed with your partner to be before wedding.
Yeah.
So वो ऐसे pointers थे which even after wedding people don't talk about them, they just flow.
Yes.
So a lot of problems and issues are caused by not being able to talk about those issues or those life-changing events.
Because वो आपने address ही नहीं की
Yeah.
इतनी like sort of things that are of such an important nature.
Yeah.
They're just like,
You need to discuss few things with your spouse before the
Yeah,
wedding.
yeah.
It's good.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's healthy for the
It's very
relationship, I guess.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, because see, the thing is that it's really important to discuss these things because there is a word called healthy compromise.
Yeah.
Marriage is about compromise. That's something that you have to do. But sort of defining for yourself as a couple, what is a healthy compromise is so important. जिसकी boundary आप सिर्फ तब बना सकते हो when you've had those discussions.
Yeah.
कि where आप दोनों को understanding of what's a healthy compromise for your partner. And for yourself as well.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know what's a healthy compromise for yourself, तो आप sacrifice करे जाओगे and you don't even know what your sort of...
और ये बातें pre-wedding होना are more valuable and important for the couple also क्योंकि after wedding when they're being discussed so there's no way out like that कि आपको compromise या उस चीज़ से adjust ही करना है so वो चीज़ शायद उस तरह से value added नहीं रहती after marriage. ज़ाहिर है तो सही but then again it should be talked.
I think definitely discussions need to be had before getting married, but the thing is that realities are very different after marriage as well. So you know, no matter how much you know the next person, ये मुझे किसी ने एक दफ़ा कहा था कि आप अपनी घर के निचले वाले हिस्से में रहने वाली खाला के घर भी जाके शादी करते हो ना, आपकी शादी होती है. It's a huge change. So no matter how much you are aware of the realities of the other person and how they live, it is not until you live together do you understand the realities of the situation and then you can figure out tab jaake. So yes, prior discussions are essential, but being able to sort of put them in the more actual practical situation and figuring it out, wo bhi, it's another thing you have to do once you are sort of
Married,
together.
yeah.
हाँ, वो आपको समझ ही नहीं आती कि अच्छा असल में like ऐसे होता है.
इस चीज़ के भी ज़ाहिर है अपने अपने प्रोज एंड कॉन्स हैं कि पहले लाइक शादियाँ वर टोटली अरेंज मैरिज लाइक हमारे पेरेंट्स से भी जो ओल्डर जनरेशन है उसमें द फर्स्ट टाइम दे यूज्ड टू सी ईच अदर वाज
On the
their
stage.
शादी or an event prior.
Yeah.
लेकिन they also, some of them worked out really well and some of the marriages जो अगर family में for instance हो रही है, you've seen those people grow in front of you, yeah, it's a love marriage and they don't even work out well. So वही है कि you really don't know.
You really don't know. Yeah, at the end of the day, you don't know. Like, यार ये तक होता है कि how do you even define a successful marriage, right? Like, people can live happily, and I'm saying happily, for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, and then decide to part.
Yeah.
And they were living happily. So, you know.
You never know
Yeah,
what's
you
gonna
never
happen.
know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, I think what we all can do is just hope for the best and do what we can
Yeah.
in our capacity. So,
Yeah. So if we talk about one trend you really like from today's time and age, what would that be?
What would that be?
yeah, I don't know. I think the one thing that I've always loved about weddings, वो पहले से ही है, वो अभी भी है, my favorite part about any wedding is the freestyle dancing because I love freestyle
Yeah.
dancing. तो मेरे लिए वो wedding अच्छी होती है जिसपे I can freestyle dance.
That's nice.
Like for me, that's like, you know, wo. But I do like I said before, I like the nikah being like a thing. Yeah, like a trend.
So everybody wanting to invite Hamna Baji on their wedding, take notes.
Take notes, yes.
Yeah, I love nikahs. Yeah, but the thing is, I love intimate nikahs ना. Like nikahs होते ही intimate हैं, उस पर normally बहुत ज़्यादा लोग invited नहीं होते हैं. So I love them. I love going to intimate nikahs and attending those and उस तरह.
I actually like the color palettes of nikahs. They're very peach skin, white tones.
They're very like subtle.
Yeah, very subtle.
Yeah. Actually, this is also one thing that has changed from like vibrant to
subtle.
Subtle. Oh my god, I can get into another conversation about this, but I'll just throw it in without getting into it. Is that, you know, this is really inspired by sort of so there's this whole theory that आपके जो so for example you can say the British or the elite or गोरे कह लो, ठीक है. So basically they have always been very color averse. So their weddings and their everything is very like white and very like subtle and very elegant. That's what they call elegant, you know. And they've always been like कि उनकी हर चीज़ थोड़ी bland होती है.
Minimal.
Yes, minimal. And they've sort of made that the what like classy people do or rich people do or elite people do. And there's a thing where, you know, they continue to do that. So the more like जैसी कोई चीज़ normal हो जाती है in the sense के जब average लोग, non-elite लोग या even upper middle वो चीज़ करना शुरू हो जाते हैं, then they change it.
Yeah.
Because they never want more people to sort of be part of that club. You know, so and also it's how they've always been color averse to people of color. To like they'll say, oh my god, your events are so colorful, they're so exotic, but that is not something that they're ever going to do for themselves.
Obviously.
Because they don't want to actually sort of
Blend
associate
in
to
or associate,
the color. So they always want to keep sort of the white and the subtle more superior, more classy. तो वो होता है कि हाँ, and we've been like whitewashed or brainwashed to think कि okay, this is more pretty because it's more subtle and
and they wear solid
the
colors.
more elegant people sort of wear these colors. You know? And
Even though they're going to wear something else other than white, they'll wear it in a very solid manner. Like they won't add rainbow, you know, diamantes to their dresses or stuff like that. They'll go like purple and it's all purple. If they'll go black, it's all black. You guys then again will say that I follow Instagram a lot, but Kourtney Kardashian wore black on her wedding recently. So again, it was not white, but it was all solid black. So that stood out.
But Kardashians have never been about grace.
And Kardashians have
हाँ, like they've never bothered much with grace. उनका तो complete opposite है, बल्कि they're more like the other spectrum. Like they don't care about grace or elegance at all.
Kardashians have their own world.
They don't. So वही बात है कि अभी like when people are able to pull off color, that I love that. Like I would pick that over. Generally, I like the pastel palette as well. But if you're able to pull off color in a nice way, there's nothing better than that. So and I think maybe because I've read this, like I've heard of this concept, तो अब मुझे ना थोड़ा सा होता है कि नहीं color. Like this is my culture. Color is my culture, and why do I constantly need to? वो गोरा complex वाली बात है. Why do I constantly need to do what
Goras are doing?
Yeah, because color is our culture, and maybe we need to embrace it.
Exactly.
And say no, it's not pendu or cheap or like low class
We
or
are
whatever.
colorful.
We are colorful.
We are colorful.
There's another thing कि वो उन्होंने कहा था कि you know they took the British, so they took like spices from everywhere. ठीक है, पहले उन्होंने क्योंकि इस on the basically your South Asia and South Asian Pacific areas में सारे there's you know Thailand and all full of spices. India silk route से वो लोग सारे जो है ना वो spices लेके जाते थे and stuff, because हमारी चीज़ थी spices, and when they took it and then they first said introduce spices and then everybody started sort of having spices, so then they started saying कि spices तो अच्छे नहीं होते, जब normalize होनी चीज़ होगी ना उनकी हाँ बहुत, so it's like the blander the food कि इसमें actual fish का taste नहीं आ रहा, actual chicken का taste नहीं आ रहा, actual आलू का taste नहीं आ रहा, spices तो बुरे होते हैं because it's our culture, it's our thing. So वहाँ पर like they get really offended अगर आप Tabasco मांग लो, कोई sauce मांग लो, कोई spice add कर लो, because it's more sort of superior and better to have something that is not spicy but authentic in its taste.
Yeah. That's true. That's very true.
Like people don't even realize it. People who are doing it now don't even realize it. But वो कहते ही हैं कि this was all because of that aversion in that time to this part of the world.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Wow, there's a huge theory.
आजकल actually it's coming up again a lot कि why the West is so averse to color.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's why we should embrace color. That's why I'm wearing yellow today. No, that's not why. That's a lie.
Yeah.
So I think and we all sort of fall prey to it, right? जो अच्छा वो हमें जो दिखाते हैं वही फिर हमें अच्छा भी लगता है.
But I think at the same time we're also very closely knitted with our culture कि हम कहीं ना कहीं color add कर ही लेते हैं. Even अगर हम एक event पे नहीं कर रहे तो हम वो मेहंदी पे पूरी कसर
निकाल लेते हैं.
That is why our events are so colorful and exotic.
That's true.
But red was our thing, you know, like
Yeah.
But वो मुझे भी था कि नहीं red नहीं.
Yeah, but you wore red on one event, so
yeah, at least.
yeah.
So I think that's it because we've been speaking for 1 hour now.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I enjoyed this discussion. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah, I had
Alishba,
fun.
what about you?
Yeah, it was really fun.
It was fun?
Yeah.
Will you sit with us again?
Yeah.
You will sit with us again?
Depends on you.
This is behind the scene, guys.
No, just kidding.
Can I sit again?
Yes, you can.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please leave your comments about what you think about this topic, and if you think that we were wrong somewhere, then please do mention that as well. We'd like to hear counter arguments. Not that we're arguing, but still counter opinion. And don't forget to like, and don't also forget to subscribe. We would love to have more people follow us, of course. And I'll see you again next time. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.